Hey guys, Editor Knight here. This is part 2 of the Babel Has Fallen breakdown series. If you haven't listened to part 1, you can find the link to that in the top right hand corner of your screen. You see it right there? Yeah, that. Or in the links down below. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming. The next song we're going to talk about is actually the first song of the album, and that is You Dreamed a Dream. You Dreamed a Dream, which is also very popular, probably because it's a villain song, and people like villain songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you dreamed a dream, and now it's mine.
You hummed a theme.
Yeah, slam poetry time. No, so I remember writing the chorus for You Dreamed a Dream back in September of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I had to remember the year there for a second. Yeah, back in September of 2021, because I wrote it around the same time as the other song. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, early September 2021, wrote this chorus in 3/4 timing, actually. The final version ended up being in 4/4 timing. The original version was in 3/4 timing.
How did that work? I don't remember that.
It was something more like, you dreamed a dream and now it's mine. You hummed a theme and summoned the divine
I do remember
wrath
that.
of God. So it was 3/4 timing. I don't know why we changed it to 4/4 timing, probably because it sounded more sinister. But
It does sound sinister.
yeah, we ended up not finishing it till like January of 2022.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We didn't revisit it for a while. I think I sat on it for a while.
Yeah.
Of course, if you look back, I wasn't doing much original music back then.
That's true, you
It was
weren't.
like I put out In a Castle on a Cloud and Prometheus and Beloved within like a month of one another, and then I didn't put out anything else till Haunted, which was the day after Christmas.
Yeah, I'm actually straight up pulling up your channel right now so I can remember the order all these videos came out.
Yeah, Haunted came in like Christmas after Beloved. So
Wow.
I
Yeah,
wasn't
okay.
doing much that whole semester because of course we were both in school, and it was my first semester in school since like actually starting the channel.
Oh, it did come out much later than I remembered. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a while, but after that it was like one song after the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was a quite the lull there, but within that lull, quite a few song concepts occurred,
Yeah.
including You Dreamed a Dream.
It's a little funny to keep track of because our experience is coming up with concepts that kind of hang around for a long time before they become songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to remember when each song came out. Like when you guys got to see it as opposed to just us.
Right, because we have motifs or song ideas that we sit down for months sometimes because we're still tweaking or perfecting them. Then you guys finally get to see it and we're like, wait, but no, it's been around for forever, right? No, it's been around forever for us.
I was just scrolling through the doc for You Dreamed a Dream, and the very earliest version of In the End
Is on here.
is on here. And because we came up, well, I'll save some of that, but we kind of came up with the earliest idea of that at the same time as You Dreamed a Dream. That's how long that song's been around.
Yeah, because we were finishing up You Dreamed a Dream around the time that Dream had just broken out of prison.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in the end, takes place right after Dream broke out of prison. So those two ideas were very much in the forefront of our brain.
Yeah, we're largely when we came up with this, when we were planning to structure the whole album around it. I mean, we did to some extent with the whole Babel Has Fallen.
Mm-hmm.
But we had this fancy intro we were talking about doing with like
for
all
You
these,
Dreamed a Dream, yeah.
yeah, with all the different languages. Like we end up with the Hebrew still, but we had like Greek and Latin and like different lines from just the Dream SMP story in different languages. Like we're gonna do a Sun Tzu quote.
Yeah, I'm re-looking at these too, yeah.
It was never meant to be in German. I think that's because Nikki.
Well, that's because of Nikki, yeah. I was gonna have that, and then I was gonna have I heard there was a special place in Spanish, as if it was coming from Quackity.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have been really cool if that happened, but
It would have been
like what we came
interesting,
up
but I
with.
could not figure out how to get that logistically to work, mainly
Mhm.
because I don't speak Spanish, French, German, or Chinese. So I couldn't easily translate or read those accurately.
Tragically.
I knew I'd be fine with the Latin, the Greek, and the Hebrew because I've studied those.
Yeah, I was gonna say, tragically, we only know 4 languages. So sad.
Tragically. To be fair, most of them are not spoken. I mean, there's modern Hebrew, but I learned biblical Hebrew, which is slightly different.
You were looking into speaking it at one point, I think, for this.
Oh yeah, that was originally for the beginning of the album. I thought about reading the passage I ended up putting on screen, but I thought the silent opening would be more dramatic.
It was very dramatic.
I love that's on here on this document. Like the document is called You Dreamed a Dream, but the title that is actually written on the document is The Day Babel Falls. And we just never changed the title to You Dreamed a Dream in the actual document, just the file name.
The Prometheus doc that we worked on together is so neat. It's just like perfectly organized. And then this one is just chaos everywhere.
Both of the Dream Song documents are chaos. Like we're gonna talk about in the end later. It is a hurricane up in there. We'll talk about that later, but oh my gosh, that document. Oh my gosh.
But you can trace like the origin of a lot of motifs in here. Like
yeah, you can see us brainstorming on these documents.
I forget that the Babel concept started with Prometheus.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then it became You Dreamed a Dream. But this one has the sunrise motif that later becomes Wilbur's thing. It starts with dream, no sunrise.
Yeah. Well, sunrises and dawn, people have really... technically it's dawn. Well, no, it's technically sunrise. Yeah, it's technically sunrise in You Dreamed a Dream, but that sunrise dawn motif has been really associated with Wilbur in this album. But it is everywhere.
It is, and when we say everywhere, like, as we keep going, you'll see what we mean. It is far more prevalent than you may realize, or that we realized at the time. Which I think is hilarious still.
Yeah, so this dawn motif, we'll come back. We're gonna point out where this dawn motif comes back in, because it's we didn't realize we were doing it at first.
Originate here. It actually originated somewhere else, but we thought it originated here.
Well, I think it was just we'll talk about that when we get to that. But yeah, it's that sunrise motif. You can tell I like it because I use it a lot.
There's also the I don't care motif.
Yes, this is the beginning of the I don't care motif, which is probably my favorite motif. And the one I use most intentionally out of any motif. Like, this is the one where I have to purposely put it in to a song, but every time I do, I love it. Because it's gonna come up here in You Dreamed a Dream, and that's their origin. The I don't care what you want. But it comes up in a number of other songs, either with the same exact melody or with the harmony of that melody, which just makes me very excited. But yeah, here in You Dreamed a Dream, we also have a different distinction. Whereas Babel Has Fallen, Technoblade, in his songs uses, mainly Greek myth references. Babel Has Fallen Dream uses biblical references. Like, there's almost no Greek myth references in You Dreamed a Dream. I don't think there is any.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Oh, there's the only one is there's Titans and gods can never die. That's it.
Which is very interesting because for the rest of the album, that's kind of how Dream and Techno get referenced. Is Techno's the Titan, Prometheus, and Dream is the god. So that's kind of another interesting setup.
Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, Dream gets all these more biblical references. He gets, we started the Babel reference in Prometheus, but he really kind of takes the Babel reference further. I think his songs use the Babel reference more than Techno's songs do.
And I think that's kind of an interesting trait in this album, is the tendency of characters to steal motifs and lines from each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a giant conversation.
And we did that very intentionally for most part.
Oh yeah, for the most part we did. But it's this giant conversation where they kind of toss around these ideas and accept or reject them or twist them into something different. And it's actually fairly common for one character to steal another character's motif and make it his own, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and we'll see that as we move along. But yeah, as I said with Prometheus, You Dream a Dream is the second of our cornerstone songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and as we've talked about, a lot more of our motifs come from this. This is where we get the "and I don't care" motif. This is where we get the sunrise and dawn ideas. The melody of the verses is going to come up later. Many of the other songs are going to build on You Dreamed a Dream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A little bit more subtly than they build on Prometheus, but they're still definitely building on You Dreamed a Dream. I'm referencing back to it all the time in this album.
All right, then let's move forward to our next one.
Editor Knight here again. You got to the end of the video. Thanks for listening. Remember, if you have any questions about what we talked about, make sure to put those in the comments section down below, and Mango and I will be happy to answer them. I'll see y'all next week for part 3. Bye!